go. So welcome to another hashtag Ask Jim. So this is, I think, I don't know, 180. I've stopped counting these, but we do them in our training week now. So every 3 weeks, we have a group of our prospects, which we do it in front of, which is our live audience here, which is fantastic to have you here on this cold winter night as well, when we're past the midpoint of the year. So real quickly before we get into the questions, I just want to start off with a few things for housekeeping. So if you don't know, we do have the Jim's Cleaning Gold Medal Challenge, which is on at the moment. So any cleaning job in the group, window and pressure, car detailing, whatever, booked before September 30 goes into the draw to win either $1,000, $750 and $500 for the medal. So not a bad thing. So if you're going to get the cleaning job done, go into that and you'll get picked for that as well. Now, the other thing we've got going on at the moment, Jim, do you want to tell the people here is about the local heroes? So quickly summarise what that is before we win out the announcements. Read them out.
We are looking to the community for people to recommend somebody who's a local hero. That could mean somebody who's really done a lot for other people and never received people to recognition for it, or maybe somebody they know who's in severe need. You know, somebody's just way down under a whole lot of problems and stuff. We'd like to go in and help them. Cool. So we're picking them every week now, aren't we?
Every week. It's a bit of work, and it's a nice call to make, and half the people think it's a scam, but you tell them it's not a scam and you give them a call, and away we go. But what I've done is I've picked the 2 winners out for this week here, Jim. I've written them down and summarised their stories a bit here. Yep. So I'm going to read out the first one there. You'll like the name as well. Okay, all right. Yeah.
Jim Sonnerson, very good name. Yes. He's 91 years old, continues to serve his community despite facing health challenges. Wife recovering from a serious spinal surgery, taken on most household tasks, but now I need a knee replacement. So I still work 5 days a week and participate in charity bike rides for hospice. Wow. Organised the Warkworth Canoe Showdown for 20 years, raising funds for the Marangi Canoe Pontoon, providing free kayak lessons and delivering medications to the elderly for 16 years. Additionally, I've helped seniors with shopping and doctor visits and served on the Warkworth Carwell Festival Committee for 20 years. So I was honoured with the New Zealand Local Heroes Award medal in 2014. Wow, what a guy. 91 years old.
I thought you'd like that guy. The name, the 91.
And he's got the right name too. How is that? Okay. Well, that's Jim's going to get $500 worth of free services. Anything that we do in New Zealand, which is mowing, cleaning, dog wash, you know, whatever we're doing.
I'm surprised he used Facebook because he found the ad on Facebook and did. So good on you, Jim, at 91 for doing that.
He's young.
He's gone
91
well.
years young.
More active than most people.
Certainly, he's a great guy. Other local hero winner for Australia, that's Jenny Beverley. She says, my mum has fostered 30 children, so it's for her mother, I presume, over 19 years, and is currently raising 6 forever foster children on her own. She established Neighbourhood Watch in her area and serves as a lifeline counsellor. As president of the Foster Carers Association, she supports carers statewide. Our family loves BMX racing, and she ensures the kids have bikes and gear, coaching them every Sunday. She drives my foster siblings to their jobs, then often staying out till 11 p.m. and balances driving practice for 2 learners. Despite being exhausted, she tries to make our home comfortable, often neglecting her own needs. With 2 foster children in primary school, 2 in high school, 2 in college, and me at TAFE, she certainly deserves some help and a chance to be spoiled. Well, we're delighted to give $2,000 worth of gym services to Jenny. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that incredible? There are some spectacularly wonderful people in our community that just don't get the recognition they deserve. So we're delighted with this.
It's hard to choose. I get it. It's very hard to pick, and they were some you get a lot of ones like that. It's very similar stories.
Very inspiring.
Very inspiring. Yeah. Especially Jenny. I spent a bit of time in foster care, so I understand what the role they play, and there's a real big shortage of foster carers now actually at the moment. So it's something that if you are thinking of doing it, it's really helped me a lot. So it's a really much needed thing as well if you can do that as well. So it's awesome. But yeah, Jenny and Jim, every single week on the Jim's website, on the Jim's New Zealand website or the Jims.net website, you can nominate a local hero. We go through and we do read every single one, and as you can see, we read them out. And we give a phone call to them, and sometimes Jim will call them, sometimes I will, and then it's a great call to be able to do. But that's a good thing that we're doing, isn't it? That whole local heroes.
That's wonderful.
Absolutely. Cool. All right, let's get into it. So we've got a big crowd now. What we want to do is start off with the mic is open. So who wants to go first up for the mic? Now, I did mention the last lady talk about driving lessons.
Across
so
here, across the front. Yeah, there you are.
Mike's over there.
Just over there.
Ask your question. Name, plug your division. Ask whatever you like.
Newest division.
And the last one said she needed driving. They were talking about driving lessons, so maybe that could be one down there.
Yeah.
So I'm Jenna. I am the new franchisor for Central Queensland. And my question is, what is your favourite meal that you can make from your beautiful garden growing vegetables and fruits?
Just like a lot of vegetables together. I got, in the right season, I got pumpkin, I got silver beet, I got potato, and I got zucchini. I'm not very good at growing anything else, but they all grow really well. So you put those together with a nice, like a massaman Thai curry sauce. It's really, really nice and very, very healthy. Everybody should have 6 serves of vegetables a day, which is equivalent of 450 grams, and a couple of serves of fruit. So if I can eat my stuff in my own garden, it tastes fantastic. It tastes better than anything you get from the shop.
Sounds beautiful.
Good question.
Can't wait to try it one day.
Start, Jenna. Andreas, should we come up? Might as well get you up. Same time.
Hey Jim, how you going?
Good.
I'm Andreas, that's my wife Jenna. We're becoming the regional franchisors for Jim's driving school in Queensland. So my question for you tonight is what you think of the new division and how you see it developing over the coming years in the way we train the new generation of drivers.
I think it's great. It's a great division for us. It's we have a strange appeal to the youth generation. I don't know why exactly. Between 15 and 25, we have a big engagement, and they love the brand. So I couldn't think of a better thing to do. It's a great division. It's actually one of the good things about it too is that we have a lot of franchisees who do things like fencing and mowing. They get to a certain age where the work is physically a little bit too hard for them. To have something they can go into where they can use their entrepreneurial and their relationship skills and everything they've learned is a really attractive idea. So I'm very excited. We've actually wanted to do it for quite some time. We just haven't had the right person to run it until Lance came along.
All right. Well, thank you for the opportunity.
Because you're a current franchisee, aren't you, in Mowing?
Mowing,
And you did the training during the COVID.
Correct.
So I was just asking before, Jim, about the training difference between actually doing it online until in person. So how has it been different for you?
So totally different. So a lot of the subjects that we covered 3 years ago weren't actually covered then. It's totally different now. Just being down here and experiencing it personally and able to talk to Jim and the rest of the franchisees and, you know, getting different stories from different people is very, you know, encouraging and makes me strive to, you know, perform better within myself. So.
And how's your success been as a franchisee since?
Very good. Yeah. So I started my first week, I turned over $3,000 and it literally skyrocketed from there. And I haven't looked back. So I got nothing bad to say.
Most of our new divisions and franchises come from the ranks of franchisees. They're successful ones too, which is exciting.
So again, I thank you for the opportunity to get into this 3 years ago, and you know I look forward to what's to come. So
the course is pretty fun, isn't it? I think somebody at dinner was telling me they were overhearing somebody on the phone. Oh, you've got to come! This is so great! You just got to do this course. Who was that telling me at dinner time? Yeah.
Oh, good stuff, Andreas. Thanks for that.
Thanks, Jim.
For that.
No
Thanks for the
worries.
first 2 questions now, guys. If you've got a question, please come up to the mic. Come on, it's open mic.
there you
Don't be
are.
shy.
No, don't worry.
Just do it for the prize alone.
Queue up.
You get a prize at the end.
Queue up and come
Pick a
forward.
prize.
It's good.
Probably a bit short.
This is
all
a
right.
cheeky lady from the training system.
Yeah.
I would not forget you.
I just want to know, when you very first started out, what sort of lawnmower did you use?
Well, when I first started mowing lawns, I was like 10 years old, and we had a push mower. That was my first mower that I used, and it kept on getting. It's one of those ones where it had the roller thing, and you kept on getting the twigs stuck in it because that was difficult. My first professional mower was a Pope. It was orange. It was an orange
wow.
mower. I bought it about 1975.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, I do not.
Thank you.
Good question. Good one.
Jim, my name is Adil. I'm from the Jim's Laundry. I submitted my questions online. I thought rather, you know,
better in person. We've got 9
Joel
of us.
Joel
The only way to get
I will ask over here.
Yeah.
This person, it's not AI generated, isn't it?
No, it's me.
It's you.
It's me.
How old was you at that time?
I would have been about 45, something like that. Actually, if you look up Jim Penman images on Google, you'll see the actual picture that was taken from. It's me against a trailer with the old logo on it.
Okay, nearly 45.
Yeah.
It's just an actual graphical representation of exactly that picture.
That person, yeah. I have a couple more questions if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I work in the customer service environment long time ago, and there is a phrase, customer is always right.
No.
So, and that's been used by the organizations or companies. They can force their employees, and at the end, either the employee has been terminated, or How do you take this phrase in this industry where we also have a customer focus as well?
Well, you're my customers too. That's the point you recognise. In fact, you're my primary customers. Look, I can just tell you, just today, this afternoon, I had a complaint from a client who was emailing me because they weren't happy with our response. Now, what happened is somebody who was a very good franchisee, like a 4.9 franchisee, very good franchisee, apparently the job wasn't to their liking. The franchisee offered to come back and fix anything wrong with it, which of course he would do, and they refused and wanted a massive discount on the job. Now, they did actually get a small discount as an offer, and they weren't satisfied. I think they wanted all their money back. But that's just garbage. And the guy was complaining to me about how it was unfair, and I said, well, fairness goes both ways. So in that case, I thought my franchisee was more than reasonable. And I thought the client was completely unreasonable in refusing him the opportunity to go back. So it's a good point, actually. Most customers are decent. They really are. Most of our customers are great, but you get some absolutely rip-off merchants out there. You honestly do. You get somebody who gives us a bad review, and it's because, for example, you go in to do a vacate clean and you list what's to be done, and you do it perfectly. And so, oh no, I want you to do this and this and this, all the extra stuff that wasn't quoted for. And then they give a bad review. So we actually investigate that kind of thing and delete the complaint and delete the bad survey.
It's good to know. Yes. Last question was, what's the last question?
I like that, I like that one, actually.
I've written it down, so good.
Yeah.
No, I'm writing it down myself.
Okay. Okay. So, we have a lot of divisions within the gyms. If I refer any client to another division, am I getting a commission?
No.
No, there's a referral fee.
But
There's a referral fee.
no, actually, sorry, you're talking about a job though,
Or
a client
franchise.
for a job.
So if I've done laundry for one client,
Yes.
that's done. Client is happy.
Now, what
And I
you
saw
Now, what you should do, okay, so your client's asking for cleaning, is that right? You do a
Yeah.
laundry job for a client who wants cleaning. What you do is you go and you find a local cleaning franchisee and you give the job to them and you refer them. And then you start giving more jobs to the cleaning franchisee, they're going to start giving you laundry jobs. That's how it works. You don't get paid for it. You actually work for each other. And if you actually build relationships with other franchises from other divisions, you can do some really good stuff. In fact, that's one of the best ways to use pay for work guarantee. Actually offer to do the laundry for all the franchisees from other divisions in your area. I'll give you the list.
Sure.
And then offer to do free, and your franchisor will pay you to do it. And then you build a relationship. So they can start referring you, and then you start referring them. That works very, very well.
Okay. That's good to know. Thanks, mate.
If you want to refer a franchisee, there's referral fees for
There is
that.
a referral fee if you can find a franchisee.
Good questions. Thank you for that.
But honestly speaking, we're a lot more short of franchisees than we are of clients in most divisions. We had more than 200,000 unserviced leads last year.
Hi Jim, my name is Ray. I'm from the cleaning division. My question is, what is your biggest regret, if any? That's in life, business, whatever.
I'd never regret anything that happened before 15 years ago when my youngest son was born, okay? I would never want to turn on back on any of my children, apart from Sylvie back there, of course, she's hopeless. So, there are a few business decisions that I've made in the past 15 years that have been pretty ordinary.
Yeah.
Like, mostly getting into things I don't understand, like we tried to make fiberglass trailers, set up a factory. That was terrible. Tried to get a trading exchange going. That was a really bad mistake. So, mostly, my most regrets is going into things I didn't understand. And sometimes, too, we made some bad decisions in terms of who we hired for IT. We've got a great team developing IT now, but we're years behind where we should be. And IT is so important. So, there's a lot I do differently, but I wouldn't let my kids go.
Yeah. Oh,
Good
thank you.
question. Thank you.
Apart from
Hi Jim, I'm Kerry Popowski. We just recently purchased the dog wash. The cheeky lady there, that's my wife.
Oh, yeah.
Don't hold that against me. My question is, when you started your franchises, you started with the lawns. Do you still have some of the original customers on the books?
No, I don't think so.
No, they're all gone.
Well, look, I actually started a gardening business in 1970, so that's like they'd be pretty ancient by now if they were still around.
But they're like even their families, like is that still?
Nah.
No, it's a bit hard to say, I suppose. Yeah.
We have franchisees from like 25 years ago who started. They've still got customers from when they first started 25 years ago.
They do.
Yeah, still got their customers.
They're big continuous. I actually rang someone the other night. It's 30 years with Jim's too.
Yeah, right.
So really, there's a few.
That's a good effort, isn't it?
Antiquity, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's quite surprising. They often do say.
often.
I've had customers who've been franchisees who've been servicing customers for 20 years. They've never met them. Never met them,
Yeah.
which is odd. But
Yeah. Thank you.
Very common. Good question.
G'day, Jim. I'm Michael. I am about to be
you've got your
I know,
name tag.
it's resplendent.
Very good.
I want to know, if you were in the zoo, what sort of animal would you be?
That's a first. That's an original one.
That is the original one. I like that one.
I'm here all day.
No, that's a
Okay.
good one.
I'm actually here for 2 weeks, but
Of animals in the zoo, the one I most admire is the rat.
why is that?
Because the rats, they're wild. They'll just do what they want. They'll go what they want. Every man's hand is against them, and they just flourish and they breed. And
They're
they
very
go.
good cooks
I have
as
a-
well, according to Disney.
According to Disney, you are completely right. So I'm a big fan of the rat.
Wonderful.
We actually use rats in our research teams too. They're really, really good. They're a good model for human behaviour. So rats are great.
I do actually then have a follow-up question, which is a bit more serious. So
I like the rat one though. I'll put that one down.
I have a very good friend of mine, David McDonald, Jim's Antennas in Horsham.
Oh, I know David.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, you do. And David says when he's on jobs and he doesn't know the answer, he says, "What would Michael do?" And that's me. What would I do? I want to know, what would Jim do? Who's your go-to person? Who's your sounding board?
Actually, mostly my staff, really. If I want to talk about something, I go to Joel or to Rocky or to just somebody in the office and just say, "What do you think?" We have ideas all the time. We just sit around and talk in the evenings, don't we? Or
Every year, there's a lot every day. There's new
we were
things.
chatting around about IT this morning. Came up with some really fantastic ideas, which we're just going to try and implement about how we can do a better Jim's app and stuff, and how we can promote extra services and things and get more. So yeah, I've got a fantastic staff, and it's more of a. If you think that I'm sort of running everything at National, you'd be sadly disillusioned. I'm actually a lot less capable than most of my managers. I mean, I don't know 1% of what this guy knows about social media, but I have very good, dedicated staff who know a lot about things and are very good at doing things. And as much as anything being in my position, it's having the right kind of team. My main job is actually probably talking to franchisees, communicating with franchisees, more than the running of the company. So yeah, like my colleagues.
So you got him by David. Did David recommend you to do the franchise or?
Well, no, he did.
Yeah.
But I told him I needed a change, and he said, "Well, why don't you have a crack at it?" And I said, "That's a very good point. Why don't I?"
Well, you know, David's come down and fixed Jim's headphones.
He asked me for help.
That was you gave the help. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
He came
I'm
in,
claiming that.
I had this problem with my headphones. It'd been going for a month. They just didn't work. And David came in, picked up the thing, went like that. That was fixed.
He came down from Horsham and stayed overnight for that one.
Yeah, he did.
40 seconds.
We actually put it on
He
video.
said he knew within
Right, yes.
30 seconds what
Yeah.
the problem was, but nobody else could sort.
That's right. Well, it's serious. I was looking at buying, new headquarters, and you did what's on my television. All these things wrong, and he just went like that. He's a great guy. Actually, he's so busy too. He doesn't virtually take any more work these days. He's just got so many referrals.
And that's why I've been working for him for the last few weeks. So, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Good
I've been
stuff.
installing security cameras. He gets me to do all the crap work. I'm the one who has to terminate network cables. Yeah.
That's a good mentor you have
He's
there.
a top
Yeah.
guy.
Absolutely. No, thanks for that.
Thanks,
That's a good
guys.
one. Cheers.
Hi Jim, my name is Sunette, and me and my wife with the bookkeeping division from Adelaide. So my question is, we know that you have about 40 to 50 divisions in the Jim's group. Is there an industry that you always wanted to get in, but still you haven't?
The one we really want to do, I mean, I have to say, probably driving school was one we wanted to do for the longest. It's just having the right person. We tried it years ago actually, but just the wrong person completely in charge, which is really important. So driving school would be number one in terms of what we wanted. One division we are actually planning to get going, and hopefully later on this year, is vending machines.
Oh, okay.
Vending machines is a brilliant business, and there's models. We're actually doing a thing called Jim's Healthy, which is packaged really healthy, ultra healthy meals that you can just eat as much as you like and be fit and healthy and have everything right, all the vegetables, everything. And we're looking at setting up vending machines to sell it. The vending machines can be really varied these days. You don't have to just sell candy and drinks and stuff. You can sell anything from vending machines. So we're importing some from China. And I think it's going to be a great business. It's a fantastic business. It hasn't been done that well. There's too much chocolates and stuff around. I think there's lots of people would buy healthy stuff they could buy. But the other thing too is it's like driving school. It's got the option that somebody who's got just finding it physically a little bit too hard to do what they're doing, and they can say, okay, we've got somebody with great people skills, great relationship skills, good business, great star rating. What can we do for them? Well, here's something that you can do when you're 100. I mean, really, you drive around, you fill up the machines, you chat to the customers, you see what else they need, that sort of thing. So we're very excited about that one.
Yeah. Cool.
It's a big industry in America, isn't it? It's just sort of never really, it sort of seemed like it's really closed. And
you don't see it, but it's coming in, and it really
Japan,
will be very big. We're looking at things like healthy meals, places like police stations, or for guards in prison, or for... Sorry?
mining sites.
Mining sites, yeah. But people don't have much choice. They go and buy junk food, there's nothing else. But imagine if you could go to a machine, you put your card in, you open up the door, and it does it by weight. And you pick out whatever you want, and then you put it in the microwave. And 5 minutes later, you've got a really delicious, really healthy meals. It'll give you 6 serves of veg a day, not too much sugar and fat. Really, I'm personally taste testing every single one. We've got taste testing on tomorrow at lunchtime. Some of my staff are coming in to help me out with this. We're going to taste all these meals that have been prepared, and we're going to rate them. And I, as far as possible, I live off this stuff myself. So that's very exciting business.
There you go.
Come on.
Hello, Jim. Yeah, so before I come here, I thought my goal is to set up a business and excel on it. I have got another goal, to be as safe as you when I am as old as you or as young as you. So
You corrected yourself there pretty quickly, didn't you?
Yeah.
As young as you.
I'm just fascinated.
You don't get to be as old as me. You failed pretty badly somewhere.
Yeah.
Eventually, it just takes time.
Yeah. So that's what I'm fascinated about, the shape that you are in. And now my question is that what is the secret of being such a good shape? Is it just being humble and reward that you're getting, changing a lot of people's life, or is it any secret food, or what is that?
There's a variety of things actually. I'm actually in the process of writing a book called something like Health and Happiness Handbook, looking at some of the principles. But look, they're not difficult really. Obviously a good diet. Mm-hmm. You should have 6 serves of vegetables a day, plus a couple of fruit. Mm-hmm. And that's quite a lot. That's 450 grams of vegetables. Mm-hmm. You should exercise regularly. So I run every morning, usually every morning, I lift weights for a while, and then I run half an hour on the treadmill. Mm-hmm. And I also walk probably at least another 4,000 or 5,000 steps a day. It's very important to have a good social interaction, good social life. So I have, for example, what I call a life group in my church, which we're very close, and we meet together regularly, and we eat together, and we pray together. Mm-hmm. And I have another group too, and then I have my staff that we're quite good friends in a way. So socially, and my family, my kids, well, apart from that one, of course.
A lot of love.
So I have a very good social life, and I think a lot of it's got to do with a sense of purpose too. My life is very purpose-driven. It's a matter of seeing what's important. And what's important to me is my family, my children, my wife, my Jim's family, my franchisees, which is why I don't mind being called at any time of day or night, because they're important to me. And my research program too. So I have a very purpose-driven life. And I'm very positive about life. And again, being a Christian or being a part of any faith, regular churchgoer, mosque attender, that's all very, very positive. So there's a science to living well, there really is. And obviously I don't take drugs, I don't drink, I don't poison my body with the wrong stuff.
So if you did, it would be this stuff here, Jim's lawnmower.
That is true. I've never actually drunk it, but they tell me it's very good and it's a craft beer. So if you must drink alcohol, you could not go past Jim's lawn lager.
We can have the other one in there.
No worries. I got some point that the healthy mind and purposeful, being purposeful is the one.
Look, it's a very good question actually. It's almost the most important question. People have very wrong ideas. A lot of people think that the more money you have, the happier you are, and it's actually not true. It is very important to have a decent income, like at least average Australian income, which a great majority of franchisees would be beyond that too. That's only about 80,000 a year. Most franchises would make more than that. So it's very important to have that. Beyond that, extra money doesn't have a lot of impact. And the mistake people make is they spend on things like expensive cars, big houses, prestige stuff, expensive clothes and so forth. You said, Mike, this is all Kmart stuff for me. So competitive. Theodore Roosevelt said that social comparison is the thief of joy. Things like Facebook, going for likes and stuff, trying to compare yourself with others, trying to compete with others, trying to be more than someone, because there's always somebody richer and better looking than you, especially better looking than me, of course. But
yeah, that's right. We got a stamp on your face. we know.
But it's true. There is a science to it. There really is, and that's something that I've read a lot of books on this subject, and I've lived it myself. And really, I'm an extraordinarily fortunate man. And it's not all good decision. I just happened to meet a wonderful wife, which is Sylvie's mother, who's changed my life in an extraordinary way. I mean, that was one of the greatest experiences of my life. So I've been very lucky in that sense. But most of it's just right principles. It's doing the things that's best that you really should be doing, rather than the thing you feel like doing in the short term. Great question. It's almost the best question there is. Because money is a good tool, but it's a bad goal.
Yep.
Are you going to compete with Jim's physique, though? You're going to get to Jim's physique.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's an inspiring answer, and I'm confident that I'll take some of this with me as well. Thank you.
Good question, good stuff.
Great question. Yeah,
Hey Jim, Wes from Toowoomba, the Mowing division, Toowoomba. It might be tagged onto that question actually. It's more around business. So from when you first started pushing mowers to where you are today, what's one main thing that you could attribute to your success?
I'm relentless about self-criticism. I always try to do better. No matter how good we are, no matter how well we do, we can always do better. You see, people often ask my goal in business. How many franchisees would I like to have? How much money I like to make? And I said, that's never my goal. My one goal above everything else is that I would have no franchisee ever unhappy about the decision they made. Now, I don't expect to hit that goal. It's reality, it's very difficult. But that's the kind of thing. You just got to be relentless. The strange thing is, though, if you're relentless about that kind of goal, and goals like better customer service to franchisees, the money takes care of itself.
Excellent. Thank you.
Good question.
Very good
Cool.
question.
So just really quickly, Jim, let's get this one online. You'll be next. Let's get this one online. It's online. So Kelly Thorpe's a current franchisee from Dogwash. She's asked a question, which I think is good to always do, and they ask in this format, so it's on video. Hi, Jim. Why are you putting GPS trackers on the Dogwash trailers? I know how the email explains it, but how can a tracker prevent theft, protect our equipment, and help you determine what needs to be done regarding maintenance or warranty issues? Personally, I don't believe a tracker could do that, and I see it as an invasion of our privacy and a big brother-like move for Dogwash.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. Well, we do have problems keeping track of Dogwash trailers. We've got close to 200 out there, and it's very difficult to know where they are sometimes. So actually having tracking in is helpful. I expect actually to do a lot more of that. In fact, when we get Jim's jobs working properly by the end of next year, every franchisee will have the option, if they wish, to be personally tracked at all times. It's like Uber. So what you can do, for example, if a client wants to track where you are, you can actually look you up on the system. This is a franchisee's request, and know where they are, and they can actually see them travelling to their house, that kind of thing. Uber does that very, very well. I think tracking is great. It really is.
But also say it might be a leased asset as well. So it's a leased asset.
It's a leased asset.
Yeah,
we own the trailers.
That's probably the reason. Yeah.
So we had a lot of trouble in the past in trying to track down where they are.
So I'd say probably maybe that, but yeah.
Yeah, but still, I don't know. I think tracking is fantastic. We can also do things like one of the things we intend to do eventually, and again, franchisees don't have to do this if they want to. We'll have the franchisee's diary set out. If a franchisee determines to be in business, to be visiting a certain client at a certain time, we'll actually, and they haven't got there and don't look like getting there, we'll actually remind them. We'll send around and say, hey, you should be there. Now, if they can't make it, it reminds them to contact the client, which they could probably do by a touch of a button. Say, hey, sorry, running a bit late, something like that. So we see tracking as very valuable. I don't know if anybody, who uses Uber Eats? It's a great system, isn't it? I mean, I know they charge a lot. But you actually know exactly, when it's arriving. They're always later than they say, but then you can track the little thing coming, and then you're outside and you greet the person by name, say, hey, thanks John or whatever. So I love it. I think it's a great system.
Okay, good question. Online. Do you want to come up to yours? Cool.
Hey Jim, I'm Nick from Lismore, pressure cleaning and window washing. You're very proactive in the men's shed and men's mental health, so
Yes.
thank you for that. Obviously you've got a great team around you, but you would also have bad days. What do you do yourself for your mental health?
I think it applies to the things we were talking about before. It's exercise, it's good food. Time spent outdoors, I didn't mention that. That's very important. I spend many, many hours a week outdoors. Good relationships. Most of unhappiness, most of bad days is to do with bad lifestyle. It's like, someone like myself is unusually healthy for a person who's 72 years old, but in fact, I'm not that unusual. I'm just what you should be. People shouldn't be overweight. They shouldn't have all these heart and problems, and so much of cancer and stuff is lifestyle related. So if you actually live right, and again, I'm very blessed in my relationship, in my marriage, and my kids and so forth, and my work colleagues. But I think to a large extent, it's driven by yourself. There are certain things outside our control. So somebody who is in a terrible financial situation, you can't help it. That's not going to make them happy. Or somebody, a man whose wife's just dumped him after 20 years of marriage, and you hear that kind of stuff, and that's really hard to take. Or sometimes people have terrible childhoods too, which affects them long term. So there can be instances where the external world is hard on. You've just lost your partner. They died, for example, after 30 years of marriage. That kind of thing is just terrible. Yep. But overall, if you live a good life and live in the right way, I don't have to say, if you're a person of faith, to get involved in your spiritual community, whatever it is. Some of the best people, I'm a very strong Christian, as you're obviously aware, but some of the best people in Jim's group are actually practicing Muslims, keeping Ramadan and everything, and they're fantastic people, and they look at examples of what they do for their franchisees. I admire them enormously. So I think faith is important. A lot of people believe in God. It's what you do about it that matters.
Yep. Now I do have a second question. If Jim was to go on a holiday, where would we find you and why?
At my farm.
Yep.
I do not like planes. I hate travel.
I live next door. It's easy for me.
I go out to my farm and I walk and I dig vegetables and I just love it.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. Good question. Thanks for taking notes of the men's shed stuff too. I'm glad you saw that.
Yeah, men's shed is really important actually. We're very aware of men's mental health.
Yeah. And anyone who buys a Jim Land certificate goes to men's shed all those proceeds. So.
Yeah.
Hi Jim. My question is, I'm Fred. I'm in the Jim's Cleaning group. My question is, what do you say your weakness and how did you overcome it?
I'm very rash. I jump into things far too quickly, which is one reason I've been divorced 3 times, I have to say. And then I met Sylvia's mother, and after 3 failed marriages, and we were married in 7 weeks. So that's a perfect example of what nobody should ever do. But it's turned out fantastically well. Look, my biggest weakness is I'm lazy, I think. There's always more things I should do. I should work more on my books and stuff. I do work in my business, but that's easy. That's kind of reactive. But I really wish I was more hardworking. If I had one wish, it'd be I wish I had ability to sit down and just work properly.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
There you go. How many books you got on at the moment, though? You got a few you're doing.
Yeah. Well, I'm working on 2 books which are sort of split up between the business book. One's more personal, one's more business oriented. One on birth rates, one on health and happiness.
Happiness, yeah. So you got 4, really.
I think that's 4.
Yeah,
I don't think anything else.
It's a lot.
I know. I've got people helping me in various ways, doing interviews and stuff. So
absolutely.
But I should work more on them. I should be doing more.
Sure, come up, go for it.
Hello, Jim. My name's Monique. My question for you today is, what is something that you would like more people to know about you?
I don't think you go much beyond some of the questions that have been asked tonight.
Okay.
Health and happiness is a huge issue. People are so narrowly focused on success. Look, it's very odd, because you only listen to me because I'm famous and rich. I mean, let's be honest. And yet the lesson I'd like to leave you is that being famous and rich isn't much of a goal in itself. You've got to have a purpose behind it, which I always have had. And I think that's as much as anything. And it's like these people that we were talking about earlier, the local heroes. And nobody's ever heard of them. I mean, really. But yet, aren't they amazing people? And I hear stories like this all the time. A guy who works part-time doing a mowing franchise, and he goes and works with the homeless. A lot of our franchises are foster carers. They just do so much in the community. It's just, what's life for? It's not a matter of just being better than anyone else. Comparison is a terrible thing. And I look, frankly, people, I think there's a disease of selfishness. People just live for themselves. Why don't people want to have kids anymore? And what's wrong with having kids? Is incredibly, amazingly rewarding. It's an achievement beyond anything else that you could possibly do. That's why we say no other success can compensate for failure in the home. And I think it's sad that we've gone to that, and we've become a sad people as we get richer and richer. So the levels of suicide and drug addiction, what they call deaths of despair, are rising because we're so cut off from community. We're so cut off from we're trying to be better and more successful and stuff. I think that's a terrible goal in life. I love my kids and I want them to be successful, but I would say I'd put success much more in terms of family and their children. And I have a kid who's a billionaire, but he's a useless parent. I'd say they're a failure.
I love that. And just a quick little question. You speak like someone who's very well read, so I just wanted to ask if you have a favourite book. Or a favourite recent read, if that's too broad.
There's so many. There's so many. I've read more brilliant books in the last 6 months than I have in the rest of my life. Anxious Generation, which is about bringing up children, the dangers of social media too. Then there's Secrets of Our Success, which is about basically about human evolution and what makes us special in our learning abilities. That's a totally different area. And then books like Atomic Habits or Lost Connections, which is about relationships and so forth. There's honestly so many. If anybody wants to know, just email me, jim@jims.net, and I'll send you a list that long of my favourite books.
Perfect.
So many.
It's also on your website, jimpenman.com.au. There's a book list there
sweet.
too. Yeah.
But if you had a look at a foundational book more than the other,
I guess that's where I was going.
it's the Bible. Because honestly, if you have a look at what I think and what I believe and what I do, the basis of that is always in biblical teaching. It's Jesus' parable of the talents. Jesus washing his disciples' feet. That is the vision we have for servant leadership in gyms. That's very, very biblically driven. And Jesus had very odd ideas by the standards of the day. He talked about it's harder for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven than a camel to go through the eye of a needle. That kind of thing is very challenging, and I think we should listen to that. So fundamentally, the Bible is number one.
Of course. Thank you.
Good question. Thank you for that one. But your gym listens to a lot of audio books, and there was to a point where they gave you, how many books was it, free or something like that? They gave you, Amazon doesn't give you anything free.
They gave me 24 because I get 24 books free, and I'm almost finished that. That was
24 credits from Amazon. That shows you
I
how
would
much
read
you
on
listen to.
average about 2 or listen to about 2 books a week.
2 audio books a week.
Yeah.
There you go.
All written books too. I read them too. I do actually read as well.
A lot. A lot.
Hi, Jim. George from Jim's Fencing in Brisbane. Who were your mentors or role models growing up?
Well, my father as much as anything, and my mother, really, honestly. I didn't always get on with my father when I was young. As a teenager, I was pretty rebellious. I wouldn't speak to him for 6 months once, but he's a good man. I mean, and he taught me a lot, and his example was very big for me. And you know, I was close to my parents both until they died. So, much as anybody. My role models today probably come more from books. I just look at people, because I read a lot. I'm always reading about business leaders, people like Elon Musk, who's a very flawed character, but also amazingly impressive. Or Bill Gates with the Gates Foundation. Or people like James Dyson, the industrialist. I mean, some of that stuff is fantastic that he does. We always have Dyson stuff when we possibly can. I look for those kinds of examples too. I think you can find so much about people by reading about them.
There you go.
Thank you.
Great question.
Elon's book?
Not his. I've read books about him, but not.
You presume the Walter, right? The new Walter.
The Isaac.
Yeah, Isaacson. Yeah.
Oh, Walter Isaacson. Yeah, I've read that one.
Yeah.
That's about him. That's very good.
That's great.
Hi, Jim. Andrew from Melbourne.
Andrew.
Looking at a bookkeeping franchise. But I have a question and a suggestion. My question is based around the fact I have two boys who are 20 and 18.
Right.
The 18-year-old is finishing HSC this year, so just looking for something to do after this year. From your experience, would you employ them in your own business if you had a franchise? And if so, what are the advantages, disadvantages of doing so?
It entirely depends on the relationship. Now, all my kids have worked for me at one time or other. They always do, part-time. None of them work for me full-time.
Mm-hmm.
So I intend to go into business with Sylvia and Danny back there very shortly. It's difficult. It depends on your relationship. Sometimes it's great. I think it's one of the most wonderful things is when you see two generations of the same family working in the same business. And the father's working with the son, say, and bring them into the business and teach them the ropes if the relationship is good.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be looking at either of them doing the financial side. I would do that, but they obviously have very good social media skills as young teenagers. So I'll think about your advice, thank you. Second thing is, my background is from golf management and clubs for a long time. And the thing that's really occurred in the last probably 10 years, and especially through COVID, was the amount of indoor golf that has taken off, especially in Melbourne. Because we're mad golfers down here, we've got so many good courses, great facilities. And when we couldn't play outside, similar to the Gardeners, that they wouldn't allow golfers to play on during COVID and all that, indoor golf took off. And I think that there are companies called X Golf, Future Golf, and I think Jim's Golf would be a bloody winner. So I'd like you to put that on your list. And if you go ahead, I'll buy one. I'll be the first in Melbourne.
Have you played golf before, Jim? That'd be probably a good.
I have, but
not good at it.
It's not energetic enough for me. I like something that makes me really sweat for half an hour. Look, I appreciate the...
You can be my caddy.
Thank you. You have to walk very fast. I walk extremely fast. My wife says I'm very rude because I'm always barging past people and stuff. Very difficult for us to do site-based franchise because we don't understand them very well. We are very good at trades businesses. I mean, you might think that things like driving school and mowing and fencing and antennas and IT and bookkeeping are all very different, but they're actually all very similar in the sense that they're a service that somebody rings for or books online and you go out and offer it to them. They're very similar systems of marketing, of operation, of software. Something like a site-based franchise, whether it's fast food or indoor golf or whatever, is a very different animal. And one of the hardest lessons I've learned is stick to what you know.
Okay.
Because when you don't, there's an illusion that says because I'm good at one thing, I'll be good at something else, and it's not usually the case.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate the idea.
But kids in the franchise, though, is quite common, especially in mowing and stuff. Like the
Yeah.
son might come and do like a traineeship or a horticulture thing. I interviewed one today, John Wiles. His son's been working with him for 8 years, started at 18. John Famos is a long-time franchisor. Both his sons have franchises. One works with him and a nephew.
Yep.
So they all started straight from school. So it's quite common, actually,
Okay.
with kids being
It
involved
can be
in
very
the
good
franchise.
training for them. That's one thing too.
Yeah.
Now, look, my kids have all done it. They've all worked
Yeah.
for me in one way or another, and it's part of their learning process. And they're all doing very different things, but yeah, you can learn them. Actually, I think one of the best things you can have your kids do is go and work for someone like McDonald's too. They train very well. It's really terrible food.
One of them's working for Domino's, so that's something
Well,
like
yeah,
that. Yep.
that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
Work experience is good. I would encourage kids to get out there and get jobs. I think sometimes we cosset them too much to take them to all kinds of classes and lessons and everything. Often just working is the best way to learn so much.
Yeah, and then they stop asking Dad for money. Even better.
And you mentioned something which was really good to mention, Jim, is the site-based franchise. Because those franchises you mentioned, I don't know how much they cost. They're like, some of them like 700,000, 600,000.
No, they're not that much.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Because there's one near me which is like an arcade one which has all the VR golf machines inside and there's
Yeah.
like a bar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So those sort of ones are pretty
We
expensive.
get people come here who've had franchise systems worth, like, it cost them $500,000 to get into, and they come and they buy a service franchise which costs them maybe $25,000 to get into, and they make better money out of it. It's quite startling how, after you take out the cost of the whole thing and you take out the rent and the franchise fees and everything else, but not a lot of them aren't that good.
Yeah. Okay.
How much
Thank
is
you.
the one you were looking at?
Sorry?
How much are the ones that you were looking at?
About 450.
Still.
Oh yeah, it's up there. I'm not saying
I overestimated a little bit. But
I'm not saying I can
Well, you're the biggest man,
instantly afford it, but
Yeah.
you know.
But see, we've got franchisees who start off with a $30,000 investment and they're making more than that profit per annum.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's your passion though, golf.
And that's what
isn't
we
it?
know
well,
about.
golf's my passion. I've been playing for 58 years. So
That's also a very good guide too. People often ask me, which business should you go into? And I say, what do you love doing?
yeah.
Do you like dogs? Do you like cleaning? Do you like gardening? Do you like cars? Do what you love, and you'll tend to be the best at it too, and you'll have a better life.
There's a lot of franchisees who love golf and they refuse to work Fridays, and that's their golf day. So that's how they structure it around that. So there's a lot of franchisees who do that.
Yeah. Thanks, Jen.
What's your handicap?
8 at the moment.
Good.
But got down to 2 at one stage.
Really?
But yeah.
Good stuff.
When you work full time, you don't have the opportunity
Well,
to
now
play.
hopefully you have the lifestyle to do the golf
Yeah,
again.
exactly. That's
There
right.
you go.
Yeah,
Good
thank
question.
you.
Thank you. Guys, you got some time for some questions? Jump up. Go for it.
Yeah. Hi, Jim. I'm Michael Angelo. Yeah, I got 2 questions. First one, how do you handle difficult customer or client?
Well, it depends why they're difficult, doesn't it, really? If they're difficult because they're not getting looked after properly, then you do everything you can to look after them. If they are difficult because they're unreasonable, then you just tell them that's the way it is. And I have customers, I just simply say to them, I think the offer is very fair. In an email, I don't phone customers, and you just let them know. I don't let people push my franchisees around, or me either for that matter. You've got to be firm, you've always got to be polite, but you can also be very firm. If you're even slightly in the wrong, admit it, fix it, but make a fair offer and stick to it.
Okay.
Good question.
Yeah. Second one, what is your go-to Bible verse?
Parable of the Talents. More than anything, it's the story about, I don't know if people know it, but it's a story about how a man goes on a journey and he entrusts different levels of money to his servants. 5 talents, which is a lot of money, 2 and 1. And the men with the 5 and the 2 talents, they actually go out and use it. And they make use of it. And when the master comes back, he rewards them and he congratulates them. But then the man with the 1 talent just buries it in the ground, does nothing with it. And the master's very angry. And the lesson for that's where we get our word talent from, which was originally a sum of money, but it's now an ability. So I think God puts us on earth to actually achieve something worthwhile with what we've been given. And this country, most of us have been given a lot. And that's what we expect it to do. We expect to live a life worthy. So that passage, more than anything else, would encapsulate my view of what life is about.
Sure.
There you go.
Thank
Good
you.
question. Thank you. Next one. Come up, go for it.
Hello, Jim. Hopefully you
Hello, Danny.
hopefully you recognise his face. So I think, for the camera, I suppose, I'm Danny. I'm starting Jim's Removals and Storage with my lovely, lovely partner Sylvia, who's going to be annoyed that I've pointed her out again. Just the removals and storage. So I suppose what my question is that obviously the world's going to get a bit crazy. And in the event of a nuclear war where everything's destroyed and society's in ruins, would you still try to start a business? And if so, what would that business be?
It's the first one. We've never had that one either. It's an original one.
If you weren't my prospective son-in-law, I'd probably give you a prize for that one. But look, the first thing is, if there is destruction, and I think it's more of a chance than people think. We're a very vulnerable society. I think you've got to survive, and what you've got to do is to rebuild. I mean, that comes down to community. So in a sense, my business would be more to do with politics. How do you get people together? How do you get people cooperating, working together? And in a way that's going to give everybody the best chance of survival. We are not meant to be individuals by ourselves. That is a really horrible idea of the modern age. We're meant to live in community. We should support each other in civilization and in disaster. And the people who can work together best are always going to do the best. We've got to look out for each other. So I don't know if that's a business exactly, but in a sense it would be like a political role.
All right, thank you.
Very good.
Very good question. Jim's bunkers.
I'd love to do Jim's preppers or something like that too. That'd be a great division to do. It's quite easy actually to
It's big in America.
It's big in America and it should be here too. Look, a very simple thing. You get some bulk rice, for example, or wheat or whatever you normally eat. You put it in woven in bags, sealed bags with oxygen eater inside. You put those into a plastic bin, like a 20 litre bin. That'll keep for like 25 years. Now, a very modest amount of food means anything goes wrong, there's something that your family can live off, and other supplies of that nature. And I think everybody should do that kind of stuff. I really do.
You did a video on that a while ago. I'll have to hunt it up and put it up again.
Look, it might only be 1 chance in 1,000 it's going to happen, all right? Yeah. But in that 1 chance in 1,000, you've got a chance, and your family's got a chance. And I think things like growing your own food as much as possible is a very good idea. Those kinds of things, which is good for you. It's good for your health. It's good for your fitness. It's good food for diet. People should think about such things and be prepared. Let's face it, we don't insure our houses against fire because we know the house is going to burn down, do we? We do it because they could burn down.
Real quickly, just want to get to one online and then your one straight away. Real quickly, Glenn Sharp, Jim's gone online here. Hi Jim, he owns the Lawn Doctor Camden, and he's an independent business, and he says he's been watching your live feeds for a long time. He says he's asked some questions and now his business has grown since he took your advice, and
good.
Want to thank you. It's grown by 25%. So it's actually independent mowing guy jumping on and thanking him, which is pretty cool. Awesome.
That's really nice, yeah. I'm glad. I have a lot of respect for independent contractors. Anybody, look, the failure rate is so high. First year, 90 to 95% will fail. If they've survived and they've got a business going, that is very, very impressive. And I've had a couple of people in my church that I mentor every now and then. The guy from sits in front of us. He's got his mowing shirt on, which is very good publicity, which is great. So he just asked me and I advised him to do this and that. Mostly I advise him to join us, but he doesn't do that, but still. Anyway, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Miriam from Sydney's Cleaning Services, the franchise. One of my questions is, normally the franchises is division, like cleaning, fence, and like separate. My question is, in one point, can we put one service to combine with the grants the government gives to help communities, and then using the franchise to provide jobs as a franchise, and then using the grants for the community, and give the opportunity for the local churches or local organizations to bring people to grow and invest in the community?
I'm not sure I make your point exactly, but what you can do as a business owner is you can do an awful lot of good. If you're successful in your franchise, and I know a lot of franchisees do this, they actually deliberately employ people who've got autistic or got other kinds of disabilities and so forth, often make very, very good workers. Take a bit of effort in the beginning. You can do enormous good by helping people in who you employ, particularly seeking out those who have issues that make them less easily employable. And then as you make money, And as you have a good business, then you've got a surplus that you can contribute to those in need. So you can do very good things, or else you can have enough income that you can afford to work part-time and do other great things with your spare time.
Like, for example, one of my ideas is like the target is the families, like the single parents, would be moms or dads. It's to provide a service to help that family to have like cleaning, fencing, like all the franchises, they have the division to provide in some point in one service, like
Donate their time.
Pardon?
Like to donate their time.
Not only the time, could be like part of donation, but also part of as a business. But what I mean to do is like, if we help one family to become a good community, it's flourish everything. Like, it's not just flourish the business, but also it's the community and around of the
Well, we do that.
family.
We actually do that. We have this weekly draw for Jim's Local Heroes. So it's exactly what we do. We actually promote this and we go out, which is not just a matter of helping a family in need, as the ones you've heard at the beginning of this talk, but it's also a matter of recognising the people who've done such great work in the community. So it's exactly what we do. It's actually a very good form of PR. I mean, it's worthwhile doing it in its own sake, but it's actually, I think, very good for the business to be associated with doing the right thing.
And as a franchises, can we be part of that? Like, can we say, for example, to you, I say, okay, in my area, I have 20 hours free to give whatever they decide to give for a cleaning service.
Well, you can actually do that too, and we have some people who do it. We had this young man up in, was it Mildura? You did a, you know, you got a story in the local paper, is that right?
Yeah, that one.
That's
yeah.
right, okay. So here's a young man who actually just chose to contribute his time to help people in need in the community.
Well, that was Mow in Melbourne here. I know the one you're talking about. That was the Mow from Mowing, yeah.
It was in Melbourne.
It was in
wasn't
Melbourne, yeah.
Okay. Now he actually there was a story in the local paper about him too, which we've got a copy of. So he actually did this, and he actually chose to invest some of his time in that. You can do that. We'll show you how. We'll help you a little bit. God bless you. That'd be a fantastic way to use your resources. It's not, we're not meant to just make a whole lot of money, keep it to ourselves. You know, again, on the subject of money, money does actually, in some senses, buy happiness, but it's not what people think. It's not from having the flashiest cars and homes and stuff. You actually get a lot more benefit in happiness from money if you invest it in relationships and in experiences with other people. But the absolute number one best thing you can do with monetary resources is to give it away to a cause that you're involved with. And something like what you're talking about is actually going to create an enormous amount of value for you as well as those you help.
Yes, we really believe like one blessing, or God give us a blessing, we need to pass this blessing.
You do.
And then we continue, that blessing continue to pass. And
Exactly.
we can help to be a good community and a good environment.
Yeah, and a great way for your friend, taking a photo of yourself and putting into the local community group saying this is what you've done, and if you need anyone to reach out for help and stuff, like that one I showed today in training, Mark did exactly that.
Yeah.
For sure, we encourage, and your franchisor should actually encourage you to do that and even take that stuff and promote it in the
We'll
area
show you
too.
how to do it.
Yeah.
So you can, if you want to help with
Absolutely
that,
do
you
that.
just
Yeah,
contact us.
we do it all the
and,
time.
Okay.
Joel will
Amazing.
help you to do it.
For sure.
Thank you.
No,
It's a very great thing.
Got time for one more? Do you want to come up? No, go for it.
Hey Jim, my name is Perry. Doing Jim's Electrical in Newcastle. Also an independent with air and electrical business back in Newcastle as well. Sort of wish I did this first and learned things along the way. But
Heard that before.
my question is, could be from the early mowing days or to where you are now. Worst payer or business deal?
The worst business deal, mostly just by mistakes.
Mistakes,
Really.
yeah.
Employing the wrong person. But I made some terrible decisions. Wrong businesses. I mean, literally I've thrown away millions of dollars by doing silly things like that. So, but you learn hard. The sad thing is that I'm 72 years old and I'm still just beginning to understand how to run a business properly.
Make me feel a bit better.
Well, you look at me and I seem successful, but I can see so many things that we could improve on. That relentless attitude of self-examination, self-criticism all the time. You can always do better. It's actually the one sign of the best operator. It's actually the degree with which they look and they say, I can improve. The worst operators are the ones that are doing things badly and they say, no, I'm fine, I can't improve. If you tell me I'm doing something wrong, no, you're wrong. And they won't listen even when they're doing badly. And we have a distinction in gyms between gold, bronze, lead. Gold is a franchisee who is always looking to improve, do better. Bronze is somebody who will listen and gradually improve and maybe mentored into gold. Lead is somebody who says, I won't listen.
Good question. Cool.
Very good question.
So Jim, so basically the way we do now is thanks for all your questions, guys. So anyone who asks the question on the microphone gets a pick of the prizes, but Jim gives the pick to the first three that he likes the best. You can take anything you would like from here.
No, I've actually can't even read my own writing.
One was rats, so I know I can read the rats.
Is a good one. I like the.
Who is that, Michael? Yeah. Yep. Come up, Michael. Take anything you like. Pick anything you like. Yeah, first choice, except for the laptop.
Oh, I was going to take the jacket.
Oh, the jacket. No, you have to ask him.
I don't get one with trainer written on one. I got one of these hats.
Yep. Go Monopoly. Smart choice. Good man. Whatever's your second one then, Jim?
I like the question about life, about happiness. Who asked that one about vitality?
Is that the physique one? Mr. Physique?
No, I think so.
Yeah, that was you.
No,
Absolutely,
was you.
come up.
That was you.
Go for it. Pick what you like. And what was the last one there, Jim?
I can't even remember what that first one was about.
What is that last one?
Always right? What does that mean?
Have a look at it. Always.
That's Michelle.
Michelle? What was it? Someone, yeah, you're right. I can't remember that, right? Mum all right?
What did you say?
What was your very first lawnmower?
Nah, wasn't that one. Was that one?
What was another good question that people liked?
Oh, there was a few. Yeah, no, you can get what you like. No, you can't get what you like. You take anything you like. No, you take anything you like.
Oh, I got to say, I'm not just biased. I reckon Danny's question about what would I do after the nuclear holocaust, I have given that one too.
That's an original one. Let's
even
get
though
that.
he's got all these prizes.
We've never had that one before.
I've never had it. That's a great
But
question.
anyone who's asked a question will get a pick after that, so you can come up and take anything you like as
And
well.
I know it's grossly unfair because he keeps on winning all the prizes
Grab anything
doing
you
the cahoots, but still, that was a great question.
Go shoot. Awesome.
All right.
Cool. So guys, if you asked a question, please come up to me at the end and you can pick anything you like. Now, just to make one quick reminder, it's a good time to get a photo with Jim now. Wednesday, there's a bunch of chaos, it's dark lighting. Come up now, give me your phone. I'm happy to take a photo with Jim.
And if anybody wants to chat about anything afterwards, I'll be here as long as you need me. I don't have any particular bedtime, so just come up and chat. Any ideas, any thoughts, anything, just come and say hello.
Well, thank you for your attention tonight, guys, and good luck for the rest of your training experience.
Okay.
All right.